Hi, it's Dr. Mary, and I have been asked to speak in the past week on 2 different telesummits about the art of manifesting what it is that you desire, whether it's money, a man, a better job, happiness, whatever. I keep getting asked, what's your secret? How do you manifest whatever it is that you want? So here it is, my 7-step process. Step number 1. You have to figure out what it is that you actually want. This is harder than it seems, right? So a lot of times when I work one-on-one with my private clients and we're talking about how they want a different job or they want a different, they want to manifest a partner, they want to lose weight, whatever it is. And I say, okay, what is it that you actually want? Their response is, I don't really know. Nobody's ever asked me that question. So the first thing you have to get crystal clear on for manifesting whatever it is that you want is you got to figure out what it is that you actually want and get specific. You can't just say, I want a better job. I want a better partner. I want to be happy, right? What does that mean to you? Get really, really specific. Number 2. You got to figure out why you want it. For you to be motivated to go after something with all of your heart and soul and mind, it has to be really meaningful for you. So it's got to be a big why. If you just kind of sort of want it because it sounds like it might be a good idea, you're not going to put the time and effort into manifesting what you actually desire, so you're never going to get it. So you've got to figure out why it is that you want it. Okay. Step number 3. This is the biggest stumbling block, absolute biggest stumbling block that I see in my clients. You have to believe you're worth having it. Whatever it is that you want, you have to believe that you're worth having it. So I want to tell you a little story to illustrate what we've been talking about with all these different steps. So I had a client a few years ago who we were working on her relationship with herself and self-image and self-esteem, and in the back of her mind for a couple of years, one of the things that she had always envisioned herself having when she arrived, quote unquote, was a white convertible Jaguar. It wasn't a big goal, but it was something that for about 2 years she just was like, I feel like when I'm really successful and I've made it, I'm going to reward myself by getting this white Jaguar. So we've been working together for about a year at this point, and the white Jaguar just kept coming to mind. So I'm like, okay, use the manifestation formula. Number 1, figure out what you want. She was pretty specific by that point. She wanted a white convertible Jaguar that had beige leather seats in the inside, and she knew exactly what she wanted. She had found pictures of it in magazines. She had seen one on the showroom at some point. She was really specific. She knew what she wanted. Why she wanted it? It was because that was her symbol of having arrived, of being successful, of having made something of herself. It was the way she was going to, and you can judge her reasons, whatever, but it was the way she was going to go home, back home to this tiny town she was from, in her white convertible Jaguar and say, look at me, look what I did. You always said I'd never make anything of myself. Look what I've got, right? So whatever her reasons, she knew why she wanted it, right? So she knew what she wanted, she knew why she wanted it. Her biggest stumbling block in the first couple of years that I knew her, before we started working together, was she didn't believe she deserved it, right? Because she had to be successful. She had to have made it. She had to be somebody before she felt like she was worth having this Jaguar. So after we worked together for about a year, she'd gotten her self-image up, her self-confidence up, she'd improved her relationship with her life partner. Things were going pretty well. And niggling in the back of her mind was this white Jaguar. So she came to me one day because she's like, I've got this vision board. Because one of the things I've had her do is make a vision board. And she put a picture of this Jaguar that she wanted on this vision board. And she's like, I kind of feel like this is my next challenge. Like, I don't really feel like I've made it yet, but I kind of feel like I need to manifest this to prove something to myself. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So we started working through these steps. This was where she failed, right? So we had to do more work on her self-confidence and her self-esteem for her to begin to realize that you don't have to have arrived to deserve what it is that you want. What it is that you want to manifest is already there waiting for you. You just have to believe that you're worth having it. So we worked for about a month on this, and we got her to the point that she really believed that it's what she wanted, okay, and she deserved it. So step 4, ask for what you want. Now here's the key to this though. You don't just say, hey universe or God or goddess or whatever, I'd really like to have a Jaguar, can you give it to me? No. You're going to phrase it in the form of a sentence, and that you're grateful for this already happened. So you're so confident and you believe so much in this happening that you're going to phrase it like in the past tense, right? So for her it was, I am so grateful that I finally am driving around in my white Jaguar convertible. Easy breezy, right? Really simple. But it was, she had to say that over and over to herself to really reinforce that idea that she was worth having it. Not when she arrived, when she was successful, but now. Okay, so that's step number 4. You gotta ask for it in the form, though, of a phrase that you're grateful for already having it. Step number 5. You have to take action, but not in a forceful way. So as soon as we got her feeling like she deserved that Jaguar, I said, okay, I want you to go to the showroom. I want you to go sit in a Jaguar. I want you to test drive a Jaguar. Take aligned action. Tell the universe you're serious. You can't just sit back, ask for something, and wait for it to happen, right? You've got to take aligned action in the direction of where you want to go. So if you want to open a new business, you can't just say to the universe, hey, in a year, I want to be a successful business owner, and then just sit there. You got to start the business, right? You got to do your research on what the product is you're going to sell, or go get your coaching certificate if that's what you want to do, or get a website going, hire a graphic designer to do your logos, whatever, right? You need to start taking aligned action in the direction of what it is that you want. Step number 6. You got to get out of your own way. This is another one that people really, really struggle with, because this means 2 things for me. Number 1, you got to ask for what you want, and you got to be fairly specific about it, but you can't be so specific about it that the universe can't deliver it. So what does that mean? So let's go back to Julie's car, right? So she asked for a white Jaguar convertible with beige interior, leather seats. She didn't specify the year. She didn't specify where she was going to get it from. She didn't specify how much it was going to cost, right? She asked for what she wanted, she put it out there, but then she didn't try to control the how, the who, the what, the where, the why, the when, right? She just put it out there. The second part of that is, of getting out of your own way, is sometimes it's going to show up in a way that you don't really expect. And that's okay. So, for Julie, in her mind, she envisioned a brand spanking new white Jaguar convertible. Here's the problem. She made $25,000, $30,000 a year. It wasn't really practical for her to be able to go out and buy a brand new white Jaguar convertible. She didn't have the funds. Loan wouldn't be, no one would approve her for a loan for that amount of money that it would have taken to buy that new car. She didn't earn enough. But she'd figured out what she wanted. She knew why she wanted it. She believed she was worth having it. She asked for it. She started going to showrooms. And here's what happened. A 10-year-old white Jaguar convertible with beige seats showed up in one of these showrooms. Used car, 10 years old. Perfect condition. Low mileage. Whoever had had it before took really, really good care of it. Was it exactly what she wanted? No, it wasn't brand new. But the universe gave it to her once she got out of her own way. The universe gave her the car she wanted at a price she could afford. Because at 10 years old, that was easy for her. She got an incredible deal. Easy for her to get. Okay, step number 7, wait for it. So the key for Julie was she didn't give the universe a deadline. Sometimes you can give the universe a deadline, but don't count on it, because the universe doesn't necessarily like deadlines. It operates on its own time frame. Right? The more emotionally or more passionate you are about it, usually the faster you can manifest something, as long as all these other previous 6 steps are lining up, right? But you can't say, universe, tomorrow at 1 p.m. I want you to deliver the man of my dreams. No, it doesn't work that way. What you can do is wait for it. And you can ask, if it's driving you crazy, you can ask the universe. You can check in with your heart space, ask the universe, ask God, Goddess, when might I expect this? And you'll get an answer, right? My favorite example of this. About a year ago, a little over a year ago, I got out of a relationship. My friends were pressuring me to start dating again and get back on the wagon, and I knew it wasn't time. I just knew it was not time. So it was summer, and again, my friends were kind of putting the pressure on. You're not teaching right now, you're out of school, you got more free time, you can actually get out and date. Why don't you just get online, go on a dating site? I was like, just didn't feel right. So I did this process, right? I had, over the course of about 6 to 8 months, I'd gotten really specific about what I wanted in a life partner. I knew why I wanted it, I believed I was worthy, I went through all of these steps. And I got to this last step, and I think it was June at this point, and I said, okay, when? And I got December. Okay. December 5th, bam, he shows up. So, you go through the steps, but you can't always get what you want in the exact time frame that you want it. Universe doesn't do well with deadlines. So, if it's driving you crazy, and you have faith that it's going to happen, you believe your worth and all this kind of stuff, you can ask. You can ask, when can I expect this? But the bottom line is, you still gotta wait for it. Patience is going to become your friend, ladies. So this is Dr. Mary, my 7 steps for manifesting whatever it is that you want. I hope you found this helpful. Keep the questions coming in. Dr. Mary at drmarypritchard.com, and I'll see you next week.